Hello and welcome back to Jami Jo Sells Wax. I, of course, am Jami Jo from Jami Jo Sells Wax, and I have a partnership with Scentsy Fragrance. I have been partnered with the company for over 14 years, so since all the way back in 2008. And today we're going to be talking about the strongest Scentsy scents. Now, I'm going to tell you these are totally my personal opinions. Scentsy has never released an official list of the strongest Scentsy scents. So I'm curious, if you are a Scentsy addict like I am, go down in the comments. Tell me what you think the strongest Scentsy scent is, because it can somewhat be a personal opinion. Now, first of all, let's talk about the strength of the fragrance in Scentsy wax. Scentsy has so much fragrance oil in their Scentsy bars. The reason for that is we use a paraffin wax, and paraffin wax has the largest scent loading ability, the highest scent loading ability, and that's why we use Scentsy, or that's why we use paraffin wax, because it does hold the most fragrance oil. So Scentsy is going to be the strongest and longest lasting wax that you can find on the market. But today, like I said, we are going to be talking about the strongest Scentsy scents. And if you have been following me for any amount of time, you know anytime I talk about fragrance, we're going to talk about it in a 6-pack. So this is my 6-pack pick for the strongest Scentsy fragrance. Now, let me tell you a couple things before we jump into the 6-pack pick, a couple tips and tricks that you might not know about getting the strongest Scentsy scent out of your wax. The first thing I want to talk to you about is how you are storing your wax bars. So they should always be stored flat like this with the cube side down. That's how they should always be stored. They should be stored in a cool and dry place, but not in the freezer. I've heard this rumor that Scentsy lasts longer if you put it in the freezer. That's not true. Absolutely not true. It actually breaks down the fragrance. So don't do that. Don't store it in the trailer, or in the trailer. Why did I even say that? In the freezer. But you do want to store it in a cool, dry place. I keep mine in a basket tucked in a dark closet. So that's personally where I store mine, and I think that's, in my opinion, the best place. So that's what I'm doing. Also, let's talk about scent throw. There are so many different things that affect the strength of a fragrance. Some things make sense. Is there a fan blowing by it? Is there an air conditioner vent by it? Things like that we would automatically think of because they're going to disperse the air and therefore disperse the fragrance. But there are some things that maybe you haven't thought about. The humidity of where you live is a great factor in the strength of a Scentsy fragrance. I am in Oklahoma. We are so humid, and scent does not last as long here as, say, a dry, cool climate. It's going to last longer in a dry, cool climate. So humidity greatly affects scent throw and the strength of scent. Another thing that affects it is whether a room has carpet or wood floors. Did you ever think of that? Because the more hard surfaces there are, the stronger the scent's going to be. If there is a lot of fabric, carpet, upholstery, things like that, it's going to absorb the fragrance. So some other things to think about. Okay, now that we've hit those high notes, let's jump right in to the strongest Scentsy scents. Now, the first three, instantly, I knew exactly what I wanted to share with you. The first one, no doubt whatsoever, Clean Breeze. Now, I'm not going to do the catalog descriptions of these for you guys. I'm just going to tell you what I think about them. Clean Breeze is like if you took a laundromat and put it in a bar of wax. It is laundry overload. It is detergent overload. It is the freshest and cleanest of this 6-pack pick, but it is strong. It is super strong. And some people even complain that it's too strong and it gives them a headache. But today, we're talking about the strongest Scentsy scents. No doubt, in my opinion, Clean Breeze, hands down, the strongest Scentsy fragrance. Also, what I love about Clean Breeze is that since it is just that fresh, clean laundry smell, it's okay to use in areas where, say, there's a big pet odor, or somebody is smoking cigarettes or other items in your home. This is one that's not gonna be like a really nasty mix. Like, I would never, if pet odor or bathroom odor is what you're fighting, never put a food smell there. It's gonna be terrible. But this, since it's just fresh and clean, definitely my pick. If you were trying to overpower some fragrances, Clean Breeze is the way to go. Now, the next one, same thing. No doubt, Sun-Kissed Citrus is the way to go. Now, Sun-Kissed Citrus is the epitome of citrus. It is orange. It's a mixture of orange, grapefruit, lemon, lime. I forget what else. If it's a citrus fruit, the smell of it is in here. It is strong, but it has like this in-your-face punch. It's enlivening. It's exciting. It's that, gosh, I can't even think of the great adjectives right now, but it is bright. It's definitely a bright fragrance. Again, it would be great to overpower some of those more negative smells like a high pet smell or cigarette smoke or things like that. And I think it would do fine in those situations. Now, this scent, Blueberry Cheesecake, definitely a strong fragrance, but I wouldn't recommend it for those areas that you're trying to overpower a negative fragrance. Blueberry Cheesecake, let me tell you my experience of how strong Blueberry Cheesecake is. I was a teacher before. When I found Scentsy, I was teaching. And I had a classroom in one of those prefab buildings. You know, the buildings that are only supposed to be there for a year or two while they're working on the school? Well, fun fact, I taught in a prefab building that I attended school in. Yeah. So that 1 or 2 year construction building, not so much. It was my 3rd grade classroom, and then I taught in it. Okay, that's a whole nother story, a whole nother video. But I was warming Blueberry Cheesecake in my prefab classroom one day, and someone stepped out of the main building and said they instantly smelled it. And they knew who it was. So they came right to my classroom to see what it was that I was warming. Blueberry Cheesecake, it's that strong. Now, I think it should be called Blueberry Muffin. I don't know what cheesecake smells like. Like, I don't know that I've really smelled a cheesecake, but to me, it's Blueberry Muffin. Okay, so those are my top 3, like, no doubt, those are the strongest fragrances. Now, these next 3, also strong, but they're like my honorable mentions in this category. Weathered Leather is one of them. Guys, there's only one way to describe this. It smells like a saddle shop. It smells like a boot shop. No doubt. I don't know how they got the smell of leather in a bar, but they did. And that's exactly what it smells like, is leather. The next one, Mystery Man. Now, I call this George Clooney out of a shower, or Channing Tatum out of a shower. Depends on what my mood is that day. But it is a very strong woodsy fragrance. I don't know the exact smells. I'm going to guess there's some sandalwood, some bergamot. I don't know. It smells yummy. Yummy. Yummy, yummy, yum, yum. I love Mystery Man, and it is a very strong and noticeable fragrance. And I'm rounding out this 6-pack pick with a fragrance that is not one of my favorites. But, fun fact, if you get to where you cannot smell the fragrance in your home, if you're a Scentsy user and you can't smell the fragrance in your home anymore, what you should do is grab a fragrance that you don't like and warm that. It's like counterintuitive, but you'll notice it. You'll be like, oh yeah, my Scentsy's still working. Baked apple pie. It's not terrible. Not my favorite though. And as soon as I think, oh man, are my Scentsy warmers even working? If I put a few cubes of this in, I'm like, oh yeah, I can smell that. I can smell that because it's not necessarily a fragrance I would choose, but super noticeable. Guys, this is my 6-pack pick for the top strongest Scentsy fragrances. I will tell you, this is from the spring and summer catalog. This will be completely different when the fall and winter catalog comes out, because fall and winter scents are by nature stronger. It's just how it is. So I will do this video again when the fall and winter catalog comes out and let you know from that catalog what the strongest fragrances are. But for spring and summer 2023, these are my 6-pack picks for the strongest Scentsy fragrances. Guys, you can get these at JamiJoSellsWax.com. Make sure that you look for the specials and discounts tab. I forget the exact wording on it, to get the 6-pack pick. It's the best way to get your wax. Buy 5, get 1 free. If you have any questions, feel free to text me. You can reach me at 918-888-9690. Guys, my name is Jami Jo. I'm here to make your nose happy because that stuff smells so good, and help you choose the strongest Scentsy fragrances for your space.